Imagine a frozen landscape. The wind howls through vast valleys, sweeping snow across endless plains. In the distance, shadows move, powerful, stocky figures braving the cold. They are not like us, and yet they are. These are the Neanderthals. For thousands of years, they thrived in the harshest environments Earth could offer, hunting giant beasts, enduring brutal winters, and surviving dangers that would break most modern humans. They were strong, intelligent, and deeply human in ways we are only now beginning to understand. Their story is not one of brutish savages, but of resilience, ingenuity, and survival. Tonight, we step back into their world. We will uncover their biology, their strength, their culture, their legacy in our DNA, and finally, the mystery of their extinction. This is the story of the Neanderthals, our ancient cousins, our rivals, and, in many ways, a part of who we are. Close your eyes and picture this. A snow-covered valley somewhere in Ice Age Europe, about 60,000 years ago. The ground shakes as a massive woolly mammoth trudges forward, its tusks curving like ivory blades. A hunting party lies in wait, 5, maybe 6 Neanderthals. Their bodies are stocky, wrapped in thick furs, muscles rippling beneath. They grip long wooden spears tipped with stone. One figure steps forward, broad shoulders, a heavy brow, eyes sharp and calculating. He signals silently. The others move into position, hearts pounding, breath steaming in the frigid air. The mammoth bellows, snow scattering as it charges. The Neanderthals leap into action, spears thrust forward. The struggle is violent, desperate, primal. These hunters risk everything, for food, for survival, for their tribe. This is not fantasy. This was life. And the beings living it were far more remarkable than we ever imagined. Neanderthals, Homo neanderthalensis, first appeared around 400,000 years ago and survived until roughly 40,000 years ago. For more than 350,000 years, they dominated large parts of Europe, Central Asia, and the Middle East. They lived during the Pleistocene epoch, a time of dramatic climate shifts. Glacial ice sheets advanced and retreated, transforming forests into tundra and back again. Life in Eurasia was perilous. Giant predators, freezing winters, and a constant battle for resources. Yet the Neanderthals thrived. They weren't failed experiments. They weren't a dead end. They were a successful, highly adapted human species. From a distance, Neanderthals may have looked like us, but up close, their differences were striking. Height. Males averaged around 1.65 meters, 5 feet 5 inches. Females slightly shorter. Some individuals, however, stood as tall as 1.78 meters, 5 feet 10 inches. Weight. They were heavier. Males averaging 83 kilograms, 183 pounds. Females around 66 kilograms, 146 pounds. Bones, incredibly dense and thick. Nearly every part of their skeleton was more robust than ours. Muscles. Evidence shows they were 20 to 30% more muscular than modern humans, with enormous strength in the arms, chest, and legs. To put it into perspective, a healthy modern man might bench press 200 pounds with training. A Neanderthal male, based on biomechanical estimates, could push close to 500 pounds naturally, without any gym. Neanderthal women rivaled today's strongest athletes in raw power. This was not just for show. Their bodies were weapons of survival. Their barrel-shaped chests allowed for larger lungs. Their wide noses pulled in freezing air and warmed it quickly. Their stocky builds conserved heat in the cold. Their fast-twitch muscle fibers gave them explosive bursts of strength, perfect for close-range hunting. They weren't marathon runners. They were ambush predators, capable of sudden, devastating attacks. The world of the Neanderthals was filled with megafauna, the great beasts of the Ice Age. Woolly mammoths, the size of modern elephants, covered in thick fur. woolly rhinoceroses with horns as long as a human arm, giant deer with antlers stretching wider than a car, cave bears, lions, and wolves, apex predators that rivaled humans for food. For Neanderthals, these animals were both threat and opportunity. They hunted mammoths and rhinos, coordinated in groups, and crafted heavy spears that could pierce hides as thick as armor. But this came at a cost. Nearly 90% of Neanderthal skeletons show signs of trauma, broken bones, deep cuts, even amputations. They fought animals up close, risking their lives for every meal, and yet they survived. Because they had something just as important as muscle: cooperation. For a long time, scientists imagined Neanderthals as unintelligent brutes. That view is gone. And their brains were, on average, larger than ours, men averaging 1,640 cubic centimeters, women 1,600 cubic centimeters. For comparison, modern humans average 1,350 cubic centimeters. Now, brain size doesn't equal intelligence, but it does mean Neanderthals had tremendous cognitive capacity. Their large eyes, 15% bigger than ours, suggest superb vision, possibly even better night vision. They crafted complex stone tools, using techniques like the Levallois method to produce sharp flakes and blades. They used pigments, including ochre, perhaps for decoration or symbolic art. They buried their dead, sometimes with flowers, as seen in Shanidar Cave in Iraq. They cared for the injured. Individuals who lost limbs or went blind lived decades longer, proving others looked after them. This was not the behavior of beasts, it was the behavior of humans, of a people with community, compassion, and meaning. Neanderthals needed enormous amounts of energy to survive. Estimates suggest males required 4,500 to 7,000 calories a day, the equivalent of eating 20 modern cheeseburgers. How did they get it? Through meat. Isotopic analysis of their bones shows that 70 to 80% of their diet came from animals: mammoths, rhinos, bison, horses. They were apex predators, among the top hunters of their ecosystems. But they weren't purely carnivorous. Traces of plants, nuts, and even medicinal herbs have been found in Neanderthal dental plaque. Some may have chewed willow bark, containing a chemical similar to aspirin, for pain relief. They were not just hunters, but resourceful gatherers and problem solvers. Around 50,000 to 60,000 years ago, something extraordinary happened. As early Homo sapiens left Africa and entered Eurasia, they encountered Neanderthals. They didn't just fight, they interbred. Today, every person of non-African ancestry carries between 1 to 2% Neanderthal DNA. These fragments influence immune systems, helping us fight ancient pathogens. In some cases, Neanderthal DNA increases risk of conditions like depression or autoimmune disease. In others, it gives resilience. The truth is clear: Neanderthals are not gone. They live on in us. So why did they vanish? Around 40,000 years ago, Neanderthals disappeared. Theories: the truth may be all of these combined. They were powerful, but vulnerable in small, isolated groups. Their extinction was not sudden. It was a slow fading, generation by generation, until the last Neanderthal drew breath somewhere in a cave of Ice Age Europe. The story of Neanderthals is more than science. It's a reflection. They were strong beyond belief, yet they showed compassion. They were masters of survival, yet vulnerable to change. They were like us, human in every way that mattered, and they remind us that survival is never guaranteed. Today, we watch other giants, like elephants, rhinos, and great apes, face threats not unlike those that ended the Neanderthals. Habitat loss, climate change, and human competition once again place species on the edge. If we learn anything from Neanderthals, it's that strength alone does not ensure survival. Adaptability, cooperation, and respect for the natural world are what keep us alive. Picture once more that snowy valley. The fire crackles in a cave. A tribe huddles together, sharing meat from a successful hunt. The children laugh, the elders tell stories, and the hunters rest their weary muscles. These were Neanderthals, beings of flesh and blood, of hope and struggle. Not monsters, not failures, but humans in their own right. Their story is not lost. It is written in the soil, in their bones, and in the DNA flowing through millions of us today. And as we face our own uncertain future, their memory whispers a lesson. Strength and intelligence mean little without unity, compassion, and adaptability. The Neanderthals lived, endured, and vanished, but in a way, they never truly left. This was the story of the Neanderthals, our ancient kin, our shadowed reflection, and our lasting inheritance.